إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. عباد الله، يقول الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم تنزيله: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. فأوصيكم وإياي بتقوى الله. اتقوا الله فقد فاز المتقون. أما بعد، أحباب رسول الله، the topic موضوع الخطبة is a topic which is essential, which is a must. It is a topic which is compulsory to be revived في الأمة. And the topic itself, I want to talk about leadership. قيادة, رئاسة, إمارة, and also I want to talk about the responsibility of leadership. This is unique, but it is established in Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 59. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنْ تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَحْسَنُ تَأْوِيلًا. O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Obey Allah and obey Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa ulil amri minkum, and those who are in charge over you, those who are appointed over you, obey them. فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ, in case you differ in matters, in anything, فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, refer it to Allah and His Messenger for decision. إِن كُنْتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, if you really believe in Allah and also you believe that there is day of judgment, that you will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inform you of all that you said and all that you did. That is the best that you can do, and also it is the best determination for a mu'min to refer his affairs to Allah and His Messenger. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning ulul amr, those who have been appointed, those who are in charge amongst you. This وَمِنْكُمْ or minkum has been misunderstood by some people. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ means amongst us al-Muslimun, that needs to be established. طيب أحباب, we know that leadership is established in Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim, إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. That is leadership. That I have appointed you to be a leader of mankind. Dawood alayhi salam is also appointed to be a Khalifa. That is leadership. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed Anbiya wa Rusul. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Anbiya and Rusul to appoint Ashab wa Hawariyun, companions and disciples. And leadership continued until ila yawmina hadha. We have the Imam, I'm standing in front of you, and so leadership continues. It is a concept which is established in the Quran was Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Having established this, there is general leadership and there is specific leadership. And this mawdu is wasi'ah, is awsa, mean few minutes that I'm going to take on the member. It's very wide, because it depends on which area of leadership are you addressing. We believe in Khilafah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that one day, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to have Khilafah, inshallah. It is established in Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So general leadership, I want to start with hadith narrated by Abdullah bin Umar radiyallahu anhuma. He says, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, the Messenger of Allah, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, كلكم راع, that all of you are responsible. All of you are shepherd. You are responsible. وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, and each one of you is answerable, is responsible on those who are under him, those who he is leading. You are responsible and you are answerable on the day of death. Anyone under you, whether your wife, you are responsible. Whether your children, you are responsible. If you have a business and you are the boss, and you have employees, you are responsible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you, how did you treat them? Did you fulfill their rights or not? كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-Imam راع ومسؤول عن رعيته. Imam, a leader, he can be Imam of Dawlah. It's reduced to Imam of a Masjid. Na'am, you are responsible, you are a shepherd. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed you with responsibility, and you will be asked about that responsibility on the day of death. وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ فِي أَهْلِهِ. And a man is also responsible regarding his household. If you are a man and you have wife and children, you are responsible وَهُوَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, and you are responsible and you are answerable regarding your wife and children and whoever is under you. وَالْمَرْأَةُ, a woman, a wife who is married and that she is in a home, mas'ula, she is responsible. She is responsible on what? فِي بَيْتِ زَوْجِهَا, on or in the house of her husband. وَهِيَ مسؤولة عن رعيتها, يعني ومسؤولة عن رعيتها. She will also be asked on how much did she appreciate, how much did she fulfill the rights of that house. وَالْخَادِمُ, even a servant, رَاعٍ, he is also responsible on what? فِي مَالِ سَيِّدِهِ, regarding the wealth of whoever has employed him, of his master. وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, and he will be asked and he will be questioned regarding whether he took responsibility or not. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَكُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ وَكُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. All of you are responsible in one way or another, and you are answerable and you are responsible regarding people under you. فلذلك, this is general leadership and responsibility, whereby each and every person has his dawr, has his role or her role in the house, in the community. Na'am, we are answerable, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you about your responsibilities. Did you fulfill the huquq or not? My brothers, there is a Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam known as Anas bin Malik radiyallahu anhu. He says, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, the messenger of Allah, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, Isma'u, that listen, be good listeners. وَأَطِيعُوا, and obey, be obedient when told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and when told that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, listen and obey. وَإِنِ اسْتُعْمِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ عَبْدٌ حَبَشِيٌّ كَأَنَّ رَأْسَهُ زَبِيبًا. Even if appointed on you, if appointed over you is a slave from Ethiopia, a slave from Ethiopia being your leader, you have to listen to him and you have to obey him. Even if his hair is curly like the resin, zabiba, listen to him. It doesn't matter how he looks like, it doesn't matter his color, it doesn't matter his status. Isma'u wa ati'u, listen and obey. That is Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us that leaders have the right to be listened to, leaders have right to be obeyed on condition that they are obeying Allah. There is a condition of not obeying any leader. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also told us that لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. You cannot obey, it's not allowed to obey any creature among the creation when he or she is disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So obey them. If it's Bilal, obey him. Na'am, obey him. Listen to him as long as he says, قال الله وقال رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم, obey him. I chose this topic. I said it's wide, and scholars have discussed it separately. Like one of the problems that Muslims are facing today is good governance and leadership. Good governance and leadership. Some Muslims have an idea of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says and Rasul regarding leadership. Some Muslims don't know. Some Muslims don't know. And so we have to know that we have the origin. We have the source, Al-Quran and Sunnah. And we had leadership right from the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam until the time he sent Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as rahmatun lil alameen. It is established. We have a problem with governance. We have a problem with leadership. Look at how so-called Muslim leaders are killing their own people, Muslims. Look at what is happening in Syria. Bashar al-Assad says that he's defending his country by killing Muslims. Look at what is happening in Yemen. Look at what is happening in Libya. Look at what is happening. Look at how leaders killed or are killing their own people. If you ask them, they tell you that I'm right, they are wrong. We have killed one another a lot. We know that we should not kill one another. We know that al-mu'min, al-muslim, al-muslim. A Muslim is a brother to another Muslim. This is not brotherhood that you establish. It is established by Allah. They don't even understand what leadership is. They don't understand. Lidhalika, we have a problem. And also in our masajid, you have a leadership based on maybe tribal or clan. And then our masajid are based on African masjid, Bangladeshi masjid, Palestinian masjid, Egyptian masjid, في America. Anyone who has traveled knows that. Now, look at how down we are going. Look at how loneliness we are going. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that we are brothers. He told us that your color, your country, your this doesn't matter. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. We are reading this ayah in Surah Al-Hujurat, chapter 49, ayah number 13, but we never took heed, we never took lesson from it. When it comes to leadership, fil masajid, this is our tribe, this is my tribe, this is our tribe. We don't advance. There is no barakah in such leadership because it is jahiliyyah. It is ghubiyyat al-jahiliyyah, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already removed. We are brothers. We are brothers. We are one. Those who deserve leadership are given leadership. Listen to hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Both the hadith that I mentioned is in both Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. Third hadith under the subject is recorded, is reported by Abu Dharr al-Ghifari. Listen to this hadith. He says, قلت يا رسول الله. He said, I Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, yani Jundub ibn Junada, I said to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, O Messenger of Allah, ألا تستعملني? Can you appoint me for a position? Sahaba were very sincere. Wallahi, they were very sincere. And he wanted to serve. Because he knew that being a Muslim is mas'uliyah. He knew that being a Muslim and having an ayah or hadith, you have to convey that hadith. He was very sincere. He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, can you appoint me for any position, for leadership? Abu Dharr al-Ghifari says, فَضَرَبَ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أو فضرب بيده على منكبي. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم patted my shoulder. فقال يا أبا ذر. He said, Oh Abu Dharr, إنك ضعيف, you are weak. Anyone who reads the story of Abu Dharr al-Ghifari will know that he's not that weak. But even the best, like Abu Dharr, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is warning him that you are weak. إنك ضعيف وإنها أمانة. And this leadership is a trust. It's not a name and fame like we take it today. If I'm not the president, I go to another masjid. If I'm not the chairman, I'm going to another masjid. If I'm not this, I'm quitting. If I'm not this, I don't even pray. إنها أمانة. It is a trust. Wallah, it is a trust. وإنها يوم القيامة خزي وندامة. And this leadership that people are coveting, wallahi, this leadership that people are rushing to, leadership that makes people to hate one another, it's going to be a source of khizyun, humility and regret on the day of Qiyamah. Wallahi, you're the first one to be called, one of the first to be called in the court of Allah is you, a leader. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask you that you are tasked to lead the community, to lead your house. How did you take care of that leadership? Wallahi, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, same Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, in the time of Uthman ibn Affan, he was given position, he refused. And his Sahaba were refusing. Sahaba, can you be a governor? He says, I don't want to be a governor. Sahaba were running away from leadership. We are fighting for it just for position. I'm the chairman. I am the president. I'm the treasurer. I'm the secretary. I cannot resign. I'm here until death. I founded the Masjid. Inna lillahi. ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين. They were running away from leadership. They were running away from appointments, even though they had makan, position. These were people who lived in the best qarn. خير القرون, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, qarni. These are people who, most of them knew that they are going to Jannah. But they said no. And even when they were appointed, they did not say that I'm the best. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu is appointed and is standing in front of people and saying, Ayyuhan nas, inni qad wulitu alaykum wa lastu bi khayrikum. I have been appointed to be Khalifa over you, but I am not better than you. We are always the best. And sometimes we feel that if I'm not in this position, then Islam is not going to move forward. If Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam died, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انقلبتم على أعقابكم. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam dying, and Islam reached us without singing him. What about you being just a secretary or a chairman? You know that you don't fulfill the rights of that position, yet you are holding on it, and you are afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. So you have to fulfill the rights of leadership, and you have to fulfill what you are supposed to fulfill. Then you are safe. But if not, it is khizyun, it is nadama, it is amana, and you have to admit that innaka da'ifun, you are weak, you don't need to be there. Respected brothers, leadership has qualities. A person has to be a Muslim, and not only a Muslim, a mu'min. A person has to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person has to be ready to consult. وَشَاوِرُهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. That is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This person has to be Qudwa and Uswa. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, being the best of all creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Allah says, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. This leader needs to be a little bit patient. This leader should not scare people away always. You can be angry. Imam Shafi can be angry. You know that. Lakin it doesn't mean that you must always be angry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasul, وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَمْ فَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you are harsh, then people will run away from you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This leader has to be just. Imamun adilun. This leader has one of the qualities is that if he leads Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has to be present in the Masjid. There is no leadership without being present in the Masjid. Na'am, when you say I'm a secretary or chairman, you have to be present in the Masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَى الزَّكَاةَ وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَعَسَى أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says regarding leaders, and from Khilafah coming down, Amir coming down, الَّذِينَ إِن مَّكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And those, when we have established them with authority in the land, أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ. The first thing that they give priority is establishing Salah. Amir used to lead Salah. Umar bin Khattab was leading Salah. Abu Bakr Siddiq was leading Salah. Uthman ibn Affan, Ali ibn Abi Talib. You can see if you go back to Islamic State, Dawlatul Islamiyah, where Khilafah was established, you are not just Amir without your presence in the Masjid. أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. Another thing that they should focus on, they have to pay zakah, not only receiving zakah. They have to pay zakah. وآتوا الزكاة. And zakah solves social and economic situation of Muslims in the community. وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر. These leaders have to establish enjoining good and forbidding evil. وَلِلَّهِ عَقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ دَعْوَةً. There is no community without da'wah. There is no community without establishment of salah. There is no community is not going to be strong without distribution of zakah. This is aman ahbab. وَإِنَّهَا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ خِزْيٌ وَنَدَامَةٌ إِلَّا مَنْ أَخَذَهَا بِحَقِّهَا وَأَدَّى الَّذِي عَلَيْهِ فِيهَا. Na'am, it is amana. It is a source of humiliation, and many people are going to regret on the day of Qiyamah if they did not fulfill its rights. We have a Sahabi called Abdul Rahman bin Samura radiallahu anhu. He says that قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, that the Prophet of Allah, may peace and blessings from Allah be upon him, told me, Ya Abdul Rahman, la tas'al al-imara. Oh Abdul Rahman, I'm advising you, do not ask for leadership. Do not ask for it. Where I'm coming from in Kenya, just leadership of a community, an elderly person who is leading people, not even inside the masjid. They are distributing money the whole night. I'm the chief of the tribe. They are giving money. Please, you have to vote me tomorrow. Please, I'm kneeling down, you have to vote me. Please, I'm humbling myself, you have to vote me. Muslim community choosing an elder, maybe a chief, they are dishing out money. I have seen in some masajid in America, when it comes to these elections, we have to know that we have our system. But the elections that we have in masajid, wallahi, I have seen people rigging, lying in the house of Allah. Somebody even putting the vote of his mother who died a few days ago. He's putting the vote of his father who died in Africa. He's putting this of a brother who died in India. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are talking of corruption outside, we are more corrupt. Fi buyutillah. We are talking about democracy. Do you even understand it? Does it allow you to corrupt the house of Allah? Chairman, it is a big thing in masjid. People are splitting after election, somebody else said, I'm opening my masjid. Those people are corrupt. He himself, he was corrupt. Do you know what it takes, ahbab? Do you know what it takes? I know that these topics are a little bit sensitive. I like dealing with sensitive topics so that we can create understanding and awareness that وَإِنَّهَا خِزْيٌ وَنَدَامَةٌ. It is a means of humiliation and regret on the day of death. Rasul told him that don't ask for positions. إِنَّكَ إِنْ أُعْطِيتَهَا عَنْ غَيْرِ مَسْأَلَةٍ أُعِنْتَ عَلَيْهَا. For if you are given position without asking for it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you to take care of it. You will fulfill its rights. وَإِنْ أُعْطِيتَهَا عَنْ مَسْأَلَةٍ وُكِلْتَ إِلَيْهَا. But if you beg for it, because you don't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are selfish, you are arrogant, you think that it is all about you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will leave you to take care of yourself and you will fail. لا تسأل الإمارة. Don't ask for leadership. These ahadith can be used in other areas. I'm using them today regarding general leadership, inshallah. So brothers, if this is the situation, I say we need to be afraid. We need to fear meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints you in positions like this. When I feel one day that I can't, I will stand on the minbar and I will tell you, brothers, I've tried my best, but I can't. Give it to another person who is better than me, who can do the best job. It's not just money, it's not just salary, it is mas'uliyah, it is responsibility, and you are answerable on the day of Qiyamah. I want to finish with the following hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, and hadith is found in the book of Imam al-Bukhari, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنكم ستحرصون على الإمارة وستكون ندامة يوم القيامة. That you, in future, you will covet, you will rush, you will fight for leadership. Elect me, appoint me. I'm the best, I'm the best. But it will be regret on the day of Qiyamah. Wallah, it will be regret. فلذلك, the best leaders amongst us, who are they? الذين تحبونهم ويحبونكم, are those whom you love and they also love. وتصلون عليهم وَيُصَلُّونَ عَلَيْكُمْ. They are making dua for you, you also make dua for them. And the worst leaders are those الَّذِينَ تُبْغِضُونَهُ وَيُبْغِضُونَكُمْ. Yani, you hate them and they hate you. وَتَلَعَنُونَهُ وَيَلْعَنُونَكُمْ. Yani, you cast them always, these leaders, shayateen. This is how we cast one another in our community. Wallahi, that is shaitan. A'udhu billahi min ash-shaitan. Leave him alone. They also fire back. Now when we are cursing one another, you do not know whether this curse is going to fall on you or on others. We have to respect one another. Leadership means respecting people, and people have to respect you. Leadership means transparency now towards people, and people should understand. Leadership means accountability, and people should understand. Leadership means people should ask you questions, especially when you are running their affairs, whether money, whether zakah, whether any money, whether affairs of Muslims, whether carpet in the masjid. You need to be asked questions, and when asked questions, don't be angry. You don't know, tell them I don't know. You have an answer, give them an answer, but it has to be discussed under mutual respect, because we have to respect one another. My brothers in Islam, inshallah this serves as the end of my khutbah today. I'm requesting brothers that don't rush for leadership. If you know that somebody else is better than you, give him chance. If you know after this khutbah that you don't fit, I'm talking of your house, I'm talking of leadership everywhere, community, in any masjid, anywhere in Denver, you are leading a community and you know that you are lazy. You are leading a community and you know that you don't fulfill, everybody knows himself. Please resign. It's good for you than facing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah when you cannot answer questions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in Imam. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us to be good leaders. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us fulfill the rights of those who have appointed us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to be accountable. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to be responsible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us with mutual respect amongst ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to promote brotherhood and sisterhood. And la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Astaghfirullah. Alhamdulillah. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الشكر لله وحده والثناء عليه فهو رب الناس جميعا والمخلوقات كلها الرؤوف بعباده. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. أما بعد. Brothers, last week I made an announcement on the minbar. I'm repeating that we have our system. No doubt about that. We have law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guided by Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But I made a small ijtihad as a student of knowledge, that if we have health issues in America, health issues, and we are told that if you sign this paper, all of you may get it for free, I would advise that you sign that paper. If we are told that if 50,000 Muslims in Colorado, if they say no by signing a paper, marijuana is not going to be legalized in this state, I will tell you sign that paper. فلذلك I'm still encouraging voting. I don't know Mr. Trump. He's a shaitan, we know that. He's a shaitan. Trump is a shaitan, he's a devil. In English, he's a devil. He's inciting people to kill one another. He's inciting citizens to fight. He's inciting people to have civil war, tribal clashes and civil war. It starts with shaitan like him. He's a devil. He says that he will kick Muslims out. He says that Muslims will be. What is this? He doesn't even respect his own law and his own constitution. We say that there is freedom of what? Of worship. Allah has given us right before him. is your decision if you want to vote him. I'm telling you, he's the devil. You may disagree with me, that is my style. Like there are areas, if you go to that form, there are areas of benefit for us. Health and all this and all this. Please, let us not keep away. I don't say that voting is halal. I don't misquote you. But we have maslaha. There is maslaha. We are living here. Each one of us has health plan, health insurance plan and all this. If they can take insurance out by signing a paper, I, Imam Shafi, will sign that paper to do away with insurance so that I can get a free health care because I'm paying tax. This is what I said last week. I still stick to it, and I'm encouraging that. Brothers asked me, did you say voting is halal or haram? I never mentioned haram or halal. I said maslahatan, these areas of health and this. I, Imam Shafi, if I have power, I will vote, and I'm encouraging people to vote those areas. It has benefit for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with better understanding. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ارض عن جميع صحابة رسول الله. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا واهدنا سبل السلام. نجنا من الظلمات إلى النور. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها زكها أنت خير من زكاها إنك أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم انصرنا على أعدائنا. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى جميع المسلمين. اللهم ارحم موتانا وموتى جميع المسلمين. اللهم اغفر لأهل القبور من المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. اللهم إنك قريب مجيب دعوات يا قاضي الحاجات يا كافي المهمات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وأقم الصلاة.